What's good, YouTube? That one ain't two. You're back again once again, and today, people, I would say we have some more Pokemon Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire news and information for you guys, but we're not talking about those new games today. Apparently this morning, a shocking new announcement has been made by the Pokemon Company detailing a new Pokemon title, and it's one that has been rumored for a while now with one lonely screenshot, and it turns out that producers of Tekken and Soul Calibur have linked up with the Pokemon Company, or I don't know, Game Freak wasn't exactly mentioned, but still, they've linked up, and Pokemon Tournament, aka Pokken Fighters, has in fact been confirmed for 2015 release. Besides that, and the short trailer that we were given, we don't know anything else about it, and if they said anything else, I mean, I don't speak Japanese, so guess we'll find out more later. But to discuss this, I am not alone. Ladies and gentlemen, we're joined by the most famous PokeTuber ever, Mr. HoodlumScrafty.
Yo!
We're also joined by the Brit that never tells the truth, Mr. Half-Lies himself.
You're right, guys.
And last but not least, we're joined by the Poke-Noob. I would call him the Poke-Noob. I feel bad for that.
Wow.
That nigga with a Frodo.
Oh, what's good, everybody?
So, what are our initial thoughts? What are the first thing we thought of when we saw Lucario and Machamp facing each other?
Scrafty's a Fang type.
Dude, they looked beautiful. They just looked beautiful.
I was gonna say it looks amazing.
Yeah.
That's for sure. That's my initial thought.
Awful models.
I mean,
Yeah.
I love it. Like you said, I love the graphics. I love the fluidity of their movements. That's the one thing that really caught me off guard, because you got to think from what we've seen from Pokemon so far. Like, just like, for example, the best graphics we've seen for Pokemon so far are X and Y, but you wouldn't see shit like that. And a lot of people are saying they're up in arms because as of right now, it's only being released for arcade. And for those kids that are too young to know what that means, I'm not talking about the Xbox Live arcade. I'm talking about an actual arcade where you have to go and stand in front of the machine and play the game. There's also a lot of rumors going around because apparently it's been copywritten in Europe or some other place or something like that. And they don't know if that's just for like safety net reasons or if they're actually going to plan to release it outside of Japan, because I mean, we don't know where the fuck it's going to go. A lot of people are saying that it's just going to be a Japanese release. But I think Game Freak's kind of, sort of, or the Pokemon Company's kind of, sort of shooting themselves in the foot by making it only available for arcade. I don't know.
It's, I feel like it's going to be one of those things that comes out on arcade and then like a few months down the line, depending on how well it does, it'll then come out on the Wii U. Because they've been struggling to sell the Wii U. Why would they not release it on the Wii? It doesn't make any sense at all.
But also, you have to take into account how popular arcade. Like, they still have arcades that people go to on a daily basis there.
It's
Like,
true,
they have entire, you know what I mean? So it could just strictly be a Japanese release for it. But I mean, shit, could you imagine standing there playing this, like a game that looks this good in an arcade?
That's also
Like,
some anime type shit.
Yeah, that's gonna take the fuck off, dude. I can understand where you said they may be shooting themselves in the foot, but at the same time, it's like, that's gonna be so huge. I mean, people are gonna be sitting and putting their fucking quarters in this shit all day long.
I'd bring like a freaking bag full of those things.
Exactly. So it's like, I can see where they're kind of shooting themselves in the foot if they're really only making it an arcade game, because it literally, for the most part, will cut them off from like most of the world, because most people don't want. Okay, let's just face it. Most Americans don't want to go out of their way to go outside, to go to a fucking place to play Pokemon. They want to do it in the comfort of their own homes or on a trip or something. So it's like, I could see if they're only going to release it in Japan, why that would be shooting themselves in the foot. But think of all the money they're about to make with kids growing up now, or, you know, like, people reliving their fucking childhood playing Pokemon in an arcade, something I'm sure everyone's always wanted to do, at least growing up with Pokemon. So I mean, and it looks amazing. So I'd be sitting there pumping my quarters in the damn machine, that's for sure.
To touch on that, Bulba Garden is still tweeting about it left and right as we're recording this. They just tweeted, the way Ishihara phrased his answer talking about doing arcade first does suggest that Pokken Fighters will eventually come to console. Then they said not to mention that he quickly shut his mouth after that, clearly looking like he said way too much on accident. So the notion that it's just going to be available for arcade isn't going to, I don't know. I would say it's not going to be a permanent thing, and I'd say that I'm definitely looking forward to it on console, because I don't know about you guys, but I would absolutely love, I would love to sit down in the comfort of my own home, boot up my Wii U, and kick y'all asses in some Pokken Fighters.
I'm 100%
Nah, man. I'm not playing that game because that's so king.
Ladies and gentlemen, in the middle of our recording, we've been joined by a Slow King. Mr. SensationalGP has joined. David, we're talking about the new Pokken Fighters game.
David, would you agree that game looks spectacular?
Oh, the game looks gay.
So David,
I don't see why I wouldn't.
since you've crashed our recording here, what are your thoughts? What are your thoughts on Pokken Fighters? I asked you a question, David.
Okay, so what was the question again?
Kick it from the cool.
What are your thoughts on Pokken Fighters?
I think personally, I think it's gonna be a really good game. That's if it doesn't go on Wii U.
Oh, we just said that, didn't we?
Wait. That's if.
No, I mean,
doesn't.
like I want it to go on Wii U. I want it to go on Wii U, and then there should be like a version for 3DS. Those would be for the people.
There won't be. I don't think there'll be a handheld version. I don't think.
Yo, but check this right. You know how? Okay, if you guys remember back like a few years ago when Guitar Hero was popular, and they made the little add-on for your DS for the Guitar Hero. What if they were planning to make some type of little game, like a little fighting pad plugin for a DS? A little fighting pad plugin for your Wii U, because I mean, if you're really gonna be going hard at Tekken,
Oh, you mean one of those arcade ones? You know, the sort of the joypad and the four
exactly
buttons.
like they have for Street Fighter.
Yeah,
like,
that's possible.
I could so see that. I could so see that.
I don't know.
I mean,
I don't really want
on the game.
I don't. Anybody care about Slow King? I don't really want to see a port to the 3DS, to be honest, because you already think they're porting it from an arcade to the Wii U to console. And honestly, if they G shit, not to take David saying G shit, if they put it on the Wii U, that game would fly off shelves. That would fly off shelves. Because you have to think it would have the same effect that X and Y had on the older generation. Because I remember back when we were doing X and Y roundtables and speculation, all that stuff, and we were talking about why did they give the Kanto starters mega evolutions and all this stuff left and right, and it was to reach out to the older generation. Everybody, I don't care who you are, if you were born in the last 20 years and you were gaming as you were growing up, you played Tekken, you played Street Fighter, you played Soul Calibur, you've played one of those games. And if you've fallen out of those games and you've fallen out of Pokemon, to combine the two, imagine seeing Machamp, which is like the fighting type for all Gen 1ers. Gen 1ers out there, everyone knows Machamp, everyone knows Primeape. Just to see those two in the graphics that they do have, in that Tekken format, that's going to pull so many people that have fallen off of the Pokemon bandwagon, so many people that have fallen away from the Wii U, and just pump up sales so much. So with it being just an arcade release, absolutely not. I see it coming to Wii U within a year of its release.
What else you've got to think about is that they've also just, like, the Smash comes out this November as well, so maybe they bring it on the arcade first, and not to like harm the Smash sales, and then maybe they'll bring it out a few months after Smash. I don't know, it's just a thought.
To see how well
I mean, it's obvious that you can say I feel like they have some big plans for it.
Yeah.
And I think the arcade, just to test the waters, because it's like this would be a huge leap. I mean, it could go extremely wrong for them, but it could also go extremely right. So going straight to the arcade that's just the easiest thing to do. I mean, you don't have to worry about, consoles. You don't have to worry about people breaking their shit and being upset, and you know what I mean. So it's just like starting off with arcade is just perfect. It's just perfect.
My next thought after this is longevity of the series, because obviously we're all hyped for it. We'd all play it. You look at the elements of Smash and how they evolved that game over the years. If they do port to console, they have to have multiplayer, online multiplayer. If they don't, that's going to cripple the game in and of itself. But what I also think of, if the game does sell well enough, and this might be too soon to say this, but I could possibly see, well, I don't know about Nintendo. I was gonna say, I don't know about Nintendo. Maybe internally they could cross promote it just like Smash does. But the one thing I was gonna compare it to is, like, for example, the new Mortal Kombat X, the new Mortal Kombat 10 game, because we were talking about that a couple days ago, and how they basically take Mortal Kombat and use it as a way to cross promote all different types of series. Like, they have their own system exclusives and stuff. Like, Mortal Kombat 9 had Kratos, and I don't remember what the hell Xbox had, because Mortal Kombat's always been more so focused on Sony than Microsoft. But now that whole idea is up again with Mortal Kombat 10, who's going to be the system exclusives for each one. But I could see them doing that with possible Pokken Fighters too. You could treat it, I don't know if they would do that, because that might take away some shine from Smash, because Smash kind of sort of already does that.
I was going to say that, yeah.
Smash already kind of sort of does that. But if Pokken Fighters comes out and it ends up, God forbid, say this and I get attacked for it, ends up being better than Smash, You know, I mean, I don't know. I mean, personally, when it comes to me, I'd rather play Pokken Fighters than Smash, just because I feel like I can relate more to it. That's just me.
Yeah, Nintendo's lame, so just Pokemon forever.
I grew up with Smash. I think they both be really good games. The only difference is I feel like with Pokken Fighters, if it's anything like Tekken, then all of the combos and the moves that you use will all be like pre-made like button inputs and stuff. Whereas when you play Smash, you can customize that sort of stuff. You can make your own shit like that. Whereas it's all like pre-made and shit like that with Pokken Fighters. I mean, and then some people prefer that kind of shit. So I mean, that makes sense if you prefer that kind of thing. But regardless, I feel like both games, like they're not going to compete with one another. There'll be two games I definitely buy and be two amazing games.
Scrafty headbutt someone.
So here's something. What if like, okay, so you know how many characters there are for the majority of fighting games, and I know we were talking about it like when we first saw this about how they're not only gonna put fighting Pokemon in there, that you know what I mean. How do you see that going as far as like what Pokemon they do and they don't put in there? Because it's going to get repetitive eventually. Because even playing through the regular Pokemon games, like the moves get repetitive. What you got? Like how do you see that working out?
It didn't even look like they were using like Pokemon moves there. They were just like fighting as if they were fighting in the anime sort of thing. Like I don't know. It's like it seemed kind of anime-esque to me.
Well, I mean,
there's like 50 fighting types in like just Pokemon period, so I don't know if they're gonna use them all or not.
Yeah.
But...
Yeah, because I was gonna say, because obviously they have a whole host of fighting types they can choose from. You know, like Callum said, Scrafty. There's obvious ones like Blaziken and Breloom and Metacam and all this stuff. And you know, I would say, well, I guess you could throw in there if you wanted to.
Circle, throw everyone.
But there's obviously a whole plethora of fighting types that you could utilize, but there's also other Pokemon, like I know we mentioned this before as well. There's been that, I don't know if you want to call it Underground, but that other online version of Pokemon fighting game that included Pokemon like Snorlax and Wigglytuff and Gengar.
Mega Lopunny.
A Lopunny could be in the game. They could include versions like that. I could also see them maybe throwing in Pokemon like Raichu that just have like an incredibly athletic appearance. And at the same time, you know, there have been other games in the past. You could catch a Hadouken. And why can't you catch a Shadow Ball? Why can't you catch a Thunderbolt? You know, they have Sub-Zero in Mortal Kombat that can freeze people. What's to say you can't do the same with I don't know Pokemon off the top of my head, but still.
An ice beam.
Let's be honest.
Pokemon actually just uploaded a video to their channel right now, so it'd be really fucked up if they didn't release it on Wii U.
Basically.
To be honest, I'd like to see Slowking fight a.
Are you kidding?
Okay, so let's be David. No, seriously, be a little more realistic.
Let's be realistic.
Because Slowking has a negative priority when it comes to a fighting game. What is a Pokemon that you'd actually want to see be on the roster?
I don't know.
It's just like the athletic sort of one. Mewtwo could be there, I guess.
Mewtwo X is a thing.
Yeah, Mewtwo X.
Charizard.
Mewtwo X.
I had like another idea. Like I said earlier, before we recorded this, you could have like an experience bar that goes up, and then when you hit like the peak of that experience bar, maybe you Mega Evolve or whatever. You could choose. Like if you have Mewtwo, you can Mega Evolve into X, Mega Evolve into Y. Because we saw in the trailer that Lucario Mega Evolved into Mega Lucario. So
and we're forgetting a huge one.
How about the starters?
We're forgetting a huge
what about
one.
Hariyama?
Because I was gonna say if you just like we've already compared to Smash, Charizard's in Smash. Greninja. Greninja is an amazing comparison for Pokken Fighters. Let me get Greninja in here and whoop that Lucario's ass real quick, you know?
How about what's it called? That ass turtle Pokemon that's the grass type starter. I forgot the name. Chestnut. Yeah, Chestnut would be decent.
That's another. I'm more interested in looking towards Pokemon that aren't just necessarily fighting types, because I think it's a given.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to find right now.
That's a given that there's going to be a whole list of fighting types in the game. Probably a majority of it's going to be filled with fighting types. That's why I say Pokemon like Raichu or Greninja. You know, things like
Imagine
that.
Bisharp, you get body left
Yeah,
and right.
you think of Pokemon have like a more human appearance that stand on 2 feet and. Yeah.
Could you imagine like a fusion bolt, a type attack move from Victini? You know what I mean?
Like Sceptile. Sceptile would be perfect.
Sceptile would be perfect as well. Electivire. Could you imagine Electivire going in? That would be
Magmortar.
Because at the same time, like again, you compare it to like Street Fighter and other times, there are bulkier characters in the game that you can still fight with. They might not be as agile, but they hit hard as fuck.
Imagine Bibaracle.
Toxicroak.
That's just Razor Shell.
I like how we say not fighting types, and David continues to list fighting types.
I mean.
Okay.
Oh, you don't want the fighting types?
Here's a question.
Okay.
Here's a question. So if you have, you know, if they do multiple typings of the Pokemon, do you still think they will keep the effectiveness, the type effectiveness?
I don't think so.
Honestly, the only way I could see them doing that is if they had like special moves. Like for example, like let's say like I brought this example before, like if they had Gengar use Shadow Ball, you know, if let's say they had Alakazam in there. You know, because I mean, it's egg moves, ice punch, fire punch, thunder punch, gets it. It could be a physical, it could be a special attacker in game. But that's the only way. That's really the only way I could see that really playing. Because at the end of the day, if you're just gonna hit somebody physically, you can't say, "Oh, my punch is gonna do more to you because you're this type."
Yeah, that makes sense. So it has to be depending on what move you use.
Yeah.
I'm like, if they don't add Scrafty, which I'm pretty sure that they will, I want to see Mianchao. Oh my god, slap everyone in the face. Just slap everyone.
Diggersby. I don't know if I see Diggersby beating niggas up with his
would
ears.
be a great addition.
Yeah, he'd beat people up with his ears.
That'd be so cool. Like, oh my god. But Miltank.
I could see possibly, Miltank, Marowak, Kangaskhan.
Marowak beat shit up with his bone club.
Sandslash.
Sizzle.
There's so much possibilities. Oh my god.
Yeah, there's tons of possibilities. Honestly, if they want to be that way, this will never happen. I was gonna say, what if they just host the entire Pokédex? You know, to the fully evolved form extent, of course. But that'll never happen because that's way too big. That's way too many choices to pull from as well. But
Malamar would be decent too.
Who?
Malamar.
No.
Yeah.
Callum, high five. Oh my god.
I actually just thought of this.
Imagine Ambipom. Oh my god.
Ambipom would be good. I know we said
that would just be a punching bag for training.
Exactly. I could see Ambipom would be great. I know we were talking about fighting types. Gallade would be nice. Deoxys would be nice. Gallade. I could see maybe an Aggron, maybe if they want to go that far. Guitar would be in there too. I could see there's a whole host of possibilities of things that they could do with it. It really just comes down to what's the size of the roster they're going to go with. Callum, you were mentioning that Tekken games normally go with a roster of about 40.
Yeah, that's what I saw.
Even thinking about, like, you know, Tekken, if you think about Tekken, they have, like, some characters that, I haven't played much Tekken, but they fly as well. They have, like, Devil Jin or whatever like that.
Yeah.
You could have...
That's why I was talking about the different types.
You could possibly have, like, Yveltal, just, like, swooping, like, flying above and picking shit up.
You could imagine, like, Shiftry, you could imagine Weavile, Dusknoir.
Like a Mawile.
Barbaracle.
You've got some weird Pokemon.
Yeah, I said Barbaracle earlier.
I mean, I'm thinking of the bots, so...
Alright, more power to you, David. More power to you. Excadrill? Could you imagine going in on somebody with a little 2-foot model?
Oh, dude, man, just dives into the ground and pops up behind him. Holy crap, that's sick.
Exactly.
Cofagrigus, Pokemon like that. I don't know. It's definitely, there's definitely limitless possibilities for what they could do as of right now. So I guess we're just gonna have to wait because it does have a 2015 release. So let us know what you guys think in the comment section below about just your initial impression of Pokken Fighters, and let us know which Pokemon you'd actually like to see incorporated in the game besides Lucario, besides Machamp, besides Blaziken. You know, the blatantly obvious ones. Yeah, be like David and think outside the box. So let us know what you guys think in the comment section below, and of course make sure you guys smash that like button if you are hyped for Pokken Fighters, and make sure you check out everyone's channels and Twitters included in the description as well. But with that, we're gonna go ahead and get up out this bitch. Boy.
Bye.
Bye. See you later.
Kangaskhan beating people up with his baby.